Hey guys, welcome to Decoding Claims presented by Longhorn Public Adjusters. My name is Dallas Kemmerling. My contact information is below. Feel free to jot that down and shoot me an email or give me a call if you ever have questions about your claims in the insurance restoration industry. The point of this video is mainly for homeowners, policy owners. Contractors can learn a lot from this. Public adjusters certainly can do these things and learn a lot. But the point of this is to help the insured understand when and how to file a complaint with their Department of Insurance. Now, only the insured or their legal representative on the claim, being a public adjuster or attorney, should be filing complaints. There are exceptions to that. Some states with assignments of benefits allow the contractor to file a complaint on their behalf, but you want to make sure that that's okay. Talk to a local attorney before you go filing complaints as a contractor. When it comes to filing complaints, okay, there are some things that we have to remember. Number one, that person who is working at the Department of Insurance, who is going to be onboarding and reviewing this claim, is an entry-level position typically. That is not the investigator. It's not an attorney. It's an entry-level person. They are doing data entry. What that means is you have to be extremely detailed and extremely concise and kind of, to quote an old movie character, just the facts, ma'am. You have to stick to the reality of what was said, what you can prove, and what exactly was done that was wrong. If you have an adjuster that's having a phone conversation with you and you're just not really happy with them and they're telling you, no, I have a different opinion, I'm not going to pay for that, I don't think you need to replace that, those really aren't they didn't break a law. They didn't break a statute. They didn't misrepresent a policy language. They didn't lie to you about case law. That's just an opinion. Complaints are not for differences of opinion. If there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it is complaints are not for a difference of opinion. If you have a material misrepresentation of either a law, ordinance, policy language, or case law, then you have a complaint. So I'm going to give you some examples here, and we're going to do a mock complaint, and I'm going to actually walk you through how to file a complaint here. So I have a quick note here on this notepad. Complaints, they have 3 things that you need to check. If you can check all 3 of these, then you can file a complaint. If you're missing one of these, you have to go get this before you can file a complaint. So you must be supported with physical documentation of the improper action. If the adjuster tells you on the phone, in the example I'm going to use here, overhead and profit is not owed under your policy. And, he'll go on and say more things. But if he just says it on the phone and you don't get anything in writing, you're filing a he said, she said against them in the complaint. It needs to be supported with physical documentation. The second thing is you need to clearly state the statute, case law, policy language, whatever it is, that has been violated. And you need to include that in the complaint. Here is why what they said in writing is wrong. The third thing is you must clearly state the desired outcome or resolution of the complaint. A complaint for the sake of a complaint is not really worth much. You will have to say, here is what I want to happen from this complaint. So we're going to work under the assumption that we can check all 3 of those boxes. Here is an example email. Now, I wrote this email to myself, and I did it just as a little example here of what an adjuster might say that would be able to be used in a complaint. Mr. Dallas, I have reviewed the information you submitted and have determined that overhead and profit is not owed under your policy. unless you submit unredacted subcontractor invoices and incur the overhead and profit costs in addition to those subcontractor invoices. Have a good day, your insurance company, your adjuster. On its face, that may not really seem like they broke a law or they misrepresented a policy language. We're going to look specifically at some resources where you can go find out, hey, what did they do wrong here? But this is actually not that common. I've had adjusters say virtually the same thing to me, even in a representation capacity where I'm representing the insured, and they know that I know better, and they will still say kind of dumb things like this. So I'll give you the cheat code here. What they have said that is wrong here is when they said, determined that overhead and profit is not owed under your policy unless. There is no policy out there that gives that unless or overhead and profit is not owed. There are some out there that say that they won't include it, but I really don't think those will hold up under scrutiny. Now, how do we know, or how can we prove that they actually misrepresented my policy? And how can we prove that misrepresenting my policy is in fact a violation of some law? Let's look. A couple of resources here. This is Texas specifically, okay? In Texas, we have what is called the Unfair Claim Settlement Practices Act, UCSPA. Most states have this. Most states, okay? You can find it by just searching your state and then Unfair Claim Settlement Practices Act. You Google that, it's going to bring it up in a list. Here is Chapter 42, which is our insurance code in Texas that actually lists the specific actions that would constitute an unfair claim settlement practice. So we're going to open this up. Here it is, Chapter 542. Yes, it looks like kind of some legalese. Here we go. Number 1 right here. Any of the following acts by an insurer constitutes an unfair claim settlement practice, knowingly misrepresenting to a claimant facts or policy provisions related to coverage at issue. Right there. That number 1, B number 1, section 542.003 B1, they just violated with that email that I posted, that I pulled up. It could also be argued that they have violated number 4 by not attempting in good faith to effect a prompt and fair equitable settlement. You could argue that. Now, I'm going to go one step further. This says that they are committing an act the commissioner determines by rule constitutes an unfair claim settlement practice act. What does that mean? Well, Texas Department of Insurance and most insurance departments of states, the DOIs, have bulletins. They have some sort of publication providing clarity. Texas has this as well. So we're going to save this section right here. What I would do is actually copy this out or print this out and save it into a file because we're going to need this for our complaint. Let's look at those bulletins really quickly, though. By searching TDI, that's Texas Department of Insurance, bulletins, it will bring up a list. Here are the bulletins and advisories. I'm going to click here. And up top, I'm going to search overhead and profit. It's going to bring up any bulletins that have to do with overhead and profit. Now, here's one right here. Here's one from 2008. Let's open this. There's a lot of words here. I'm very familiar with this. Most contractors are. But this bulletin is from the commissioner of the Texas Department of Insurance. It has never been redacted, or retracted, rather. And it says, let me find it here, the deduction of prospective contractors' overhead and profit and sales tax, in addition to depreciation of calculating actual cash value, is an improper claim settlement practice on policies which provide coverage on an actual cash or replacement cost basis. Now, that's not saying right up front that overhead and profit is owed on every claim, okay? But if you have a carrier who is they are refusing to pay overhead and profit, citing some sort of policy, citing some sort of rule, then that could be inappropriate. That could be wrong. This is a great thing to have as a part of your complaint. Now, again, this does not mean that the TDI is going to go and slap the hand of your insurer and say, hey, on this bulletin, you have to pay overhead and profit. That's not the point here. This is just you can show that they have potentially violated this section right here, number 7. And you can tie it in. You can say, my carrier has violated 542.003B7 by stating that they are deducting overhead and profit, or making it paid when incurred would be another terminology for that. That is inappropriate, and you can use bulletins to help substantiate your argument. The third thing, not only do you have the insurance code and you have bulletins, the third thing is you have your policy. I'm not picking on Hartford here. I just Googled H03, which is the most common policy for residential homes. I just Googled it, and Hartford has one published. This has nothing to do with Hartford versus State Farm. They're not a part of this. But in every policy, there's a section called the loss settlement, which is how we are going to pay as an insurance company. Here's what we're going to do. This is what we're going to pay you. And they have this loss settlement broken down into different sections. So we've got the policy. I've actually got it pulled up in PDF form here. Here is our loss payment section, and it simply says, we will adjust all losses with you. We will pay you unless some other person is named on the policy or legally entitled to receive payment. Loss will be payable 60 days after we receive your proof of loss and reach an agreement with you. There's a final judgment or the filing of an appraisal award. Nowhere in there does it say we will pay you everything except. We can come further up here and we can see there is an exclusions area. Here's another loss settlement. The term cost to repair or replace and replacement costs do not include increased costs incurred to comply with the enforcement of any law or ordinance. Okay, that's not saying anything about overhead and profit. That's talking about ordinance or law. We keep going up in the policy, and there is a section for exclusions right here. We do not insure for loss caused directly or indirectly by any of the following. And guess what? If it's not in this exclusion list, they can't exclude it. That's a simple fact. Look through here, see if they have anything in there that says that they're excluding overhead and profit. There is nothing. I will tell you that. There is nothing in this policy, in an HO3 policy, that says they are excluding overhead and profit or putting any condition on it. Overhead and profit is owed when it is reasonably likely that a general contractor be used on the claim. That's the bottom line. If they put any sort of statement or extra contractual restriction on that, it is improper. Use the policy. In this example, we're talking overhead and profit, but use your policy for any other section. If they say that water damage is not covered, okay, here's water damage. It says it is covered. Here's what it describes. Okay? Use the policy. Get a copy of it and use it in your complaint. Now, we've talked about the insurance code. We've talked about the commissioner's bulletin. We've talked about using your policy. Let's actually look at filing the complaint here. I don't want to bore you too much. If you Google TDI or whatever your state is, complaint login, it'll bring up your portal. Now, this one is done through CIRCON, and if I open this, it brings me here. You will have to create an account in Texas. I've already got an account. I'll click login here. Now, you submit a complaint. I'm going to submit a complaint. I enter my information in here. Let's say I'll enter my info. And I'll do 1, 2, 3 anywhere. Country. Oh, county. If I could read, I guess that would be helpful. I'm in Tarrant County. There we go. Email address, I'll do that one. There's my cell phone, like we already looked at. And I click next. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. You can have my cell as my primary or my home number. Okay? Now, this is where you enter your information here. It's going to give you specific information. If you're not the insured, indicate your relationship, okay, such as if you're the third-party claimant, provider, attorney, etc. This is where you would enter that. If you are the right person, check this box if the person filling out this form is the person who needs help. Great. It's going to pre-fill your information. Click next. Now, the complaint is against my insurance adjuster, my company. Maybe it's against the agency as well, but that's unlikely. Maybe it's against other as well, such as engineer firms. Who knows? But insurance company and adjuster. Put in your insurance company's information. ABC company. Yeah, I happen to have the same address. I know. Okay. Hopefully it'll let me have enough info there. Put in your agent information if you have the agent information or adjuster information. This would be agent or adjuster. Put in the adjuster info. Bob. What's his prefix? It's Bobby. Last name. Bobby Bobster. Put in his info if you've got it. That's fine. Could be a female. I'm not sexist here. Policy. Okay, your policy number. You would put that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What state? Texas. Type of insurance. This is important. Let's say this is homeowners. And by the way, you can file this on your auto, on renters, but we're just going to do homeowners. Claim number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Date of loss, 1/1/2022. Why not? Oh, forgive me. I need to enter it correctly. 10/0/01. There we go. Detail of the complaint. This is the meat and bones here. Take your time. Write out the complaint. My adjuster has policy and paid my claim. Be as detailed as you can. I'm not going to burn up a whole lot of time on this video to give you full paragraphs here, but write full paragraphs. Stick to the facts. My adjuster said OP was not owed under my policy. My policy does not exclude overhead and profit. State law says that overhead and profit is owed when a GC is reasonably necessary. Okay? Attach the bulletin here over in the documentation and declaration. You've got 2,000 characters. Use them all. Put as much information in there as you can. I'm cheating a little bit here for time, but I would not do O&P. I would go ahead and type out overhead and profit. I wouldn't say GC. I would type out general contractor. This is important. Describe what you consider to be a fair resolution to your complaint. You could also include here my insurance company has paid P to my neighbors on their claim, which was at the same time and substantially similar. Please see if you can show that they paid your neighbor but didn't pay you and now they're misrepresenting to you, yes, this is going to be effective. What would you what would you consider a fair resolution? Well, a fair resolution would be to be paid the full amount of what is owed under my policy for my claim per my policy contract. Restate it. My policy does not exclude GC, O, and P, and I have hired a GC for my claim and incurred the cost. Okay, type it out. Once you've stated your entire case of what you're complaining about and what you want to be done as a fair resolution, and then you can also put in here, I would like TDI to investigate my carrier and adjuster to see if they have systemic practices. Sure, put it in there. See if they have systemic unfair practices towards their insureds. You might just have a bad adjuster. That might be something that they are actually telling their adjusters to say, and it's systemic. Again, I'm using just a generic example of overhead and profit when they're misrepresenting the policy on it. I am not saying that's the only type of complaint you would file. Next, you will upload your documents. TDI may release my email address in response to the public information request. I would say no, but that's up to you. To file this complaint, we need your approval to share your complaint information. Yes. And then, have you previously reported this problem to our office? Yes or no. Are you represented by an attorney? Yes or no. How'd you hear about us? Put whatever your story is, internet search or other, doesn't matter. You will click next. And here, no, sorry. Thought I checked those. Complaint portal. Here's your information. Now, review the complaint. Choose your file here. Go and take that email that I pulled up. This email here, copy that email out. Print it as a PDF, upload it, upload your policy, upload the bulletin, upload the state law. Put all of those documents in there that we viewed together. Put this bulletin in there. Put the insurance code in there. Put your policy in there. Again, has nothing to do with Hartford. When you're done, click attach and then complete the claim. That's the process. It's not complete until you finish it. When you're done, review the page. That's the process. That's what you do. Here's the summary of everything that you wanted done. And then when you're all ready, you've attached it, you submit, it will go to TDI to review. It takes them a little bit to review these. They typically acknowledge receipt within 24 hours, and they forward it to your insurance company. So your insurance company is going to know you filed the complaint within 24, 48 hours. TDI, if they investigate it, may not respond for months. Just FYI. Most insurance departments do not move quickly. So that is the process. That's how you file a complaint. I hope that this is all of the information that you'll be able to use and find helpful. If you have questions or concerns, please do give me a call on your insurance claim. Dallas Kemmerling, dallas@longhornpa.com, and then my phone number there as well. I look forward to helping you guys. If you have any questions about how to file a complaint or questions about how you should document your complaint before you file it, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here to help. Thanks so much, guys, and I hope this will help you get the resolution on your insurance claims that you need. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.